Good morning, students and staff. Today is Wednesday, March 11th, and today is a day 4.
Here's a reminder that today there is an assembly at 10:20 in the gym. Also, a reminder that we do not have school tomorrow or Friday. Have a great day.
Hello, students. February Students of the Month for first grade for showing their being respectful, responsible, and safe. For first grade students, we have in Mrs. Brown's class, Brooklyn Hughes. In Mrs. Graham's class, Kira Gundafson. In Mrs. Craig's class, Caitlin Dignan. And in Mrs. Sands' class, Jasmina Sabinovich. Students of the Month for second grade in Mrs. Watsky's class, Drew Hettenbaugh. In Mrs. Hilscher's class, Chase Riddle. In Mrs. Westfall's class, Camden Sem. And in Mrs. Melling's class, Marley Bridgeford. Students of the Month for third grade in Mrs. Gratz's class, Alex Jelinek. In Mrs. Boland's class, Brady Poff Christensen. In Mrs. Peck's class, Jasmine Dill. And in Mrs. Wool's class, Carson Wilkie. Students of the Month for fourth grade in Mr. Olsted's class, Emma Pearson. In Mrs. Evenson's class, Jaden Tripto. In Mrs. Engen's class, Scarlett Carlisle. And in Miss Martineau's class, William Georgeson. Students of the Month for fifth grade in Mr. Peterson's class, Nathan Ambrose. In Mrs. Peterson's class, Kaylee Borrud. In Mrs. Wolfow's class, Maggie Fernern. In Mrs. Becker's class, Mackenzie Jensen. So students of the month, congratulations. Thank you for showing your respect, responsibility, and safety here around Berger Elementary. And you get to celebrate today with a pizza party during your lunchtime. Please come on down to the office and we will have a pizza party here with the principal. Thanks. Great job.
The staff birthdays that are celebrated this week are Mrs. H., our special ed teacher, on Monday, and Tuesday, Miss Tiffany Menschel, our paraprofessional, and on Wednesday, Mrs. Westfall, our second grade teacher. Happy birthday to all of those, and if you see them, wish them a happy birthday.